sizable force because just looks like Hogil going to bring those last two mutals up. Only managed to take down a single marine, trying to make not letting C forget that they're there. Double upgrades going up for C in the meantime, but C really can't go forward and attack any of Hogil's the kind of holdings without worrying about his own base. And Hogil in the meantime pushing up. He's got a decent surround on C. C trying to retreat, trying to get behind those lurkers. If those lurkers get down behind his medic marines, he could be in a lot of trouble. But they just got too spread out. Wow, beautiful. But Scourge is going up and taking out the science vessel. Beautiful micromanagement by Hogil. I gotta give him that. Doing everything he needed to do, and actually, I'm going to say, Hogil in a very good position here. That 12 o'clock expansion now decently up, and wow, a lot of lurkers lost in the initial attack. It looks like a comsat going off because again, no detection on the ground. Those lurkers starting to fall back, but that entire group of medic marines that was out in the field going to be taken out. New science vessel up though. C being a little careless with his micromanagement. Looks like he's going to lose his science facility. I'm not sure why he planted it down. Lifting it off now. He's going to lose it probably to those Scourges. Hogil, get the Scourges into this. Go attack the science facility. Attack. That, oh man, just lost the opportunity. That was a huge opportunity he missed right there. If he had put those Scourges into the science facility, you wouldn't have seen any science vessels for a good long time. Let's see if C manages to save it anyway. Going to come out, and now as you can see, already has 5 barracks up, going to continue, and really Hogil needs to end it now. He needs to push up with what he's got now, and I don't think he can. 2 barracks down, C realizes kind of the situation he's in, getting the extra amount of defense, and this is what I'm talking about with C. You can't count him out of this game, even though he looks in a really bad position here, even though Hogil is kind of expanded all over the map, well, not all over the map, but decent distance across the map. C being a little careless with his science vessel there, really putting it out. If there were some Scourges there, they would have been down fairly quickly. It looks like that, as you can see, C doing that standard, trying to build in the background. Lurkers pushing up now, managing to take out a lot of medic marines. Comsat going off. Ling's in there, and Hogil looks like he might be able to take out this natural expansion. Pushing up, attacking another Comsat down. C somehow manages to hold it. Some turrets going to go down in the background, so we'll see if Hogil decides to push up. C going to have to abandon this natural expansion. Let's see if he decides to take off this command center, and he's in an extremely bad position. Wow, brilliantly getting that bunker down in the background, and we'll see if C can last out. And a little bit, wow, in a very difficult position here. He's got lurkers just kind of hanging out at his natural expansion. Let's see if he has a radiate yet. He does have 2 science vessels up. But you can't count C out because, again, this is another one of those situations I was talking about where C can just come back from amazing games. Hogil in a very dominant position. Looks like he wasn't mining at that 12 o'clock position. Oh, C going to lose a science vessel. That's extremely costly. Hogil doing everything he needs to do. C being extremely careless with his science vessels. Looks like he's researching radiate now. And that might be able to give him a little bit of an advantage here. And going to plant those, wow, a lot of lurkers on the ramp there. Beautiful defense matrix at the last second to kind of save that attack. And Ling's trying to push up in here, but beautiful blockade. Almost losing another science vessel, but manages to save it, bring it back across. That was some beautiful micro by mine. Killing the lurkers on the ramp, and then pushing in the medic marines immediately after that to make sure that the Lings couldn't just flood into his base and wreak havoc every place. Getting the radiate off on a couple of those lurkers now, and a surprised Hogil hasn't pushed into Hive yet. Now he's thinking about the Queen's Nest. Really, he had the economy to do it. He's finally getting that economy running at the 12 o'clock position. A couple Scourges pushing up, and we'll see if he decides to. Honestly, if I was him, I would just build a couple Scourges and just suicide into that command center. Screw the science vessels. Take out the command center now, then you know you're ahead. We'll see if C decides to expand into that protected natural in the meantime, although that would be extremely difficult to defend should Hogil kind of switch back into Mutalists, although it doesn't look like he's planning to do so. I can't. Wow, I really can't tell on my screen what the upgrades are, but it looks like I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that's level 1 armor, but I think C's at level 2 across the board as far as timing wise at this point. He is a little bit later. Tank up front and radiate's going down. Gonna use that tank to bait all these units in. And honestly, if he upgrades Siege Tech, he could really retake his secondary here. C just massing up in his base at the moment. Yeah, taking out. He can range the lurkers first of all, and wow, just kind of the beautiful micromanagement, just kind of being annoying, harassing back and forth. Going to let his science vessels build a couple. Yeah, level 2 upgrades. Just going to harass, force the Lings up. Going to pull. Wow, going to lose a science vessel there. That was extremely costly. Canceling. Something happened to the barrack there. I'm not exactly sure what happened. He lost it somehow. I'm not sure if he intentionally killed it for troop management or what. I think that's what C did, is he took down that barrack so he could move some units out. Now he's going to siege on the ledge, and that's going to allow him to retake his secondary now. Yeah, pushing up now, just going to leave those 2 tanks there. Now going to push out with this huge medic marine force, and we'll see if Hogil, actually, I don't see a lot of units on the ground. Well, obviously from this, but I didn't see a lot of units on the ground for Hogil in the meantime. It looked like he was mostly content to to kind of expand there. As you can see, only a single lurker. I see a couple units pushing out, and this is where that 12 o'clock expansion could be really difficult for him to hold. Ooh, wow, a miscue trying to go back across that gap in the middle of Loki II. You cannot go across that gap with larger units. He might lose those lurkers. He's going to try to expand the upper left-hand corner in the meantime. This is what I'm talking about. Hogil just kind of a little bit overextending himself. I wouldn't have put that expansion in the upper left-hand corner, put in the bottom right-hand corner or the 6 o'clock positions where you can flood back and control the map. Instead, he's going to go put it at the forward aggressive position at the upper left-hand corner, where C can really flood units across and attack basically two expansions at the same time. Little tip for you Zerg users. Oh wow, big attack coming up. Beautiful, wow, defense matrix on that Firebat. Firebat taking out a lot of units. Those 2 lurkers aren't going to hold this, and Hogil is going to end up losing in this 12 o'clock expansion. He just couldn't get units there. I'm surprised he didn't have if he had a Nidus Canal, I think he could have held that. A couple lurkers pushing in from behind, but C's just going to be able to run up the ramp. We'll see if these, basically, if he can get some lings or something produced out of that. Wow, never mind though. Those lurkers are down. If you could have pinned those units in, it would have worked a little bit better. But yeah, tip for you Zerg users: if you're going to do expansions all across the map, make sure they're at disparate locations. Put them all over the place so your opponent basically can't just go to one location and just hop around the map taking them out. Make sure he has to move his troops basically entirely across the map, and that's what's actually, I think, going to cost Hogil right now. Because as you can see, that 12 o'clock, oh wow, C coming in with a drop, but two Scourges right there. Let's see. Oh, it takes out the dropship. Beautiful micromanagement, or good spot out. But as you can see now, like I was talking about before, C's just going to see that. He's just going to move in with those medic marine forces, and there's nothing that Hogil can do about it. I really don't like that expansion in the upper left-hand corner. In the meantime, so now Hogil down, first of all, to his main. C's a little bit hard on for resources, so what he needs to do is he needs to think about expanding himself. While denying, looks like Hive Tech ups Defilers in the meantime, but I think Hogil needed one more expansion on top of this to really make this economically work for him. He's going to have to rely on Medic and Marine, he's going to have to rely on Zergling's Starswarm, and I think we're going to see some Firebats and some tanks out for C. So C, I think C's going to be able to deal with this. He does have a Lurker out, but not a lot of units on the ground, and as you can see, C has a ton of units on the ground. He's trying to get another hatchery up just to deal with some production there. I'm surprised C hasn't thought about expanding in the meantime. C's, I guess, planning on ending it in the next few minutes here. A couple science vessels out in the open. He's going to radiate a couple troops out in the open. Hogil doesn't have a lot of troops to sacrifice. Well, as you can see, C has just a huge unit count out. He did manage to get that Dark Swarm off, so C is going to have to kind of shift his direction. I guess what Hogil's thinking about now is he's going to try to protect what he can, but really, honestly, he's in a bad position because C's just starting to march on him. He can't think about just kind of holding what he has, and he just does not have a lot of troops on the ground. He just really needs to start. I think that's why he put down that additional hatchery. He just needs to pump a ton of units right now if he's going to hold off this attack, and I just don't think he's going to be able to. That the tank splash damage, again, going to try to expand at the 12 o'clock location. Again, I wish he would expand at the bottom right-hand corner. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hold it, but now he does have Nidus Canal, so if it goes up, he can put a Nidus there, and he'll be able to reinforce it. Another hatchery going up. I'm not sure how I wish I knew how Hogil was doing for resources at the moment. I know his main's probably entirely mined out, so probably only producing at his secondary and his natural. If he does hold out this attack, he might be able to take it from C, simply because C, another science vessel going down for C. C not doing a very good job of protecting his science vessels at all, and really, oftentimes when he does lose games against Zerg, I think that's what kind of costs him. That is kind of a weakness in his play. Those tanks just going to chill there and hammer things as they come in. I'm surprised C not being more aggressive. It looks like C did expand. I couldn't really tell on the minimap, and also expanding at the 6 o'clock location. So now, as you can see with C, with his kind of expansion layout, what he's doing is he's putting the expansions in areas where he's going to be reinforcing anyway. Medic Marine's going to try to chase these lurkers down. I mean, he has to defend this general area, this general territory anyway, to worry about his secondary, his natural secondary, etc. So, and he's kind of pushing troops down there. So it makes sense to put your natural expansion there, being a little bit of a micromanagement miscue. He has those tanks down. He didn't have any detection. Finally, Comsats lost a couple of unnecessary Marines there. It's not going to cost him too much though, because now Hogil, again, he has that 12 o'clock expansion up. We'll see if he'll be able to defend it in the meantime. Now C's starting to push up in the main, and again, I don't think Hogil has anything to kind of fight this off. Hogil in the meantime did manage to get an attack at that expansion on screen right now, the off center at 9 o'clock position, but he has nothing to defend, loses his natural expansion unprotected. Now he's going to call GG. Again, C just coming back from behind and showing why this is what I'm talking about. That's classic C. So C advances, and I don't have any video on the screen anymore. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Filling in for